There we go. See what's up. Okay, it's getting better. It's getting better. So next time we're gonna have some music on that thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a process, man. It's a process. We
I
we
didn't want. I
learning
didn't
as we
want it to
going.
be a copyright situation, but yeah, once we get the music, situated, I think that's gonna be cool. We'll create a whole
Absolutely.
intro, whatever. But anyway, what's up, y'all? Crosswalk episode 6. We're gonna dig into a lot of things. We got the finals. We got UFC Vegas 10. What was it, 7? Yeah,
107. Yeah.
and then of course UFC 316, and we got to finish up, or at least get through the semifinals of the Crosswalk Welterweight Tournament. So we're gonna dig into all those things. But before we jump into that, man, how's your week been, man? How are you doing?
It's off to a good start. I mean, it's a pay-per-view week, but I'm gonna be honest, man. It hasn't really hit me yet that it's a pay-per-view this weekend, but I know
Mhm.
by the time Saturday rolls around, I'm gonna be ready to go.
Yeah, man, it feels like. I mean, I think the card is pretty good. It feels really like quiet, and I
Hmm.
don't know if that's because of Sean, turning over a new leaf, and he ain't, he's not the Sugar Show right now. He's just Sean O'Malley and in his Arizona dungeon training. That's it.
Hmm.
I don't know if that has a lot to do with it or whatever, but it's quiet. It's real quiet.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the whole dynamic of him like changing his whole life, his whole routine, like how it translates. Because typically, in my experience, when guys do that, like it's all sweet and it's all rainbows, and then when like a little adversity arises, and then they start to question it, like, yeah, is this really what I thought it was going to be? Is this something I'm really going to stick to? So I'm always a little skeptical when I see guys do stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm looking at the thing. I don't see your channel, your YouTube link to it for
On
whatever
mine
reason.
is I'm connected.
It's
It's
weird.
yeah, my channel's live.
Okay,
I'm on
good,
it right
good.
now. Yeah,
I was
we're
making
good.
sure, making sure. Okay, cool, cool. Um, yeah. So let's dig into the NBA. Let's get that popping real quick. So here we go. Some bells and whistles. Let's see how this go.
Oklahoma City Thunder are massive favorites in the NBA Finals, sitting at negative 750, while the Indiana Pacers are heavy underdogs at plus 500. With such a clear disparity in the odds, how many games do you think the Pacers can realistically steal in this series?
So yeah, that's the first question. How many games do you think the Pacers will actually win? I mean, I don't know if you actually think the Pacers got a real shot.
Man, I'm gonna do my best impersonation of Unk. I think it's only going five, dog. I think it's only going five.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, okay, so when the Pacers played the Knicks, what they had an issue with was the Knicks. One, they don't go very deep on their bench.
Hmm.
So you got these starters out here who people already, talk about Tibbs and how he doesn't go deep into his bench. Now you
Hmm.
got these starters. I mean, they are running them to death, whether it's a made basket or a missed basket. And so you taking that kind of pace from the Pacers, appropriately named, and you taking that against the OKC Thunder, who turn people over constantly. Like I mean, they are getting all kinds of turnovers forced on people and running back the other way. Like, is there a world where the Pacers kind of reverse that around on them and then run them into the ground?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the up tempo style is gonna suit them well, just because OKC is so deep and they got guys that come off the bench and can get them buckets and defend. I really just think for Indiana to really make a dent in this series, man, they're gonna have to shoot it well from the perimeter.
Hmm.
I mean, I know they defend, they do defend. I will say that, but OKC can just spread it out so much. You got Shea, you got Chet, you got Jalen, then you got the little buddy we was talking about a couple weeks ago, 22 coming off the bench.
Hmm.
Caruso coming off the bench. Like, OKC, they got so much firepower. And if somebody's not on, somebody else gonna get you buckets. And Shea is a professional bucket getter. So you already know he's getting his buckets night in, night out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, how do you even defend that? Like, I feel like with Shea, at least from outside looking in. What's up, Lane? From the outside looking in, it just seemed like he trying to get to the elbow, and he gonna do work from there. Either you gonna foul him when he's trying to go to the basket, or he gonna hit the fadeaway on you. That's the whole game, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, man. When you get elite scores like that, honestly, you can't really defend them. Literally, the only thing you can do is just try and make it difficult on them. Like, I would say, like, you got to try your best not to get in the Shea's body, because he's very good at drawing foul calls, getting the free throws. And that's how these modern day scorers get going, man. They get to the free throw line, get some easy buckets, see the ball go through the net, and then next thing you know, next possession down, they make a move, they hit a tough shot, and now they starting to get a rhythm going. So yeah, I think the toughest thing with Shea, man, is you got to stay on your feet. You can't go for any of the fakes, and you got to try your best to keep him in front of you.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done. And they got Jalen Williams. Was he third team All NBA? First team All NBA, All Defense. And he's starting to really get his confidence going. Last year, I feel like the Mavericks were able to take advantage of his youth and his inability to kind of slow the game down in the playoffs. And you can't do that to him now. He just don't feel that. And I don't think that the Pacers have the personnel to be able to do that. Nesmith is good at, getting into people and bothering people, but, is Nesmith going to be on Shea? Yeah, Nesmith can't guard them both. And, you got Nimhard. I don't know what he's going to do. Halliburton is not a great defender. He's not a turnstile, but he's not a great defender. So it's just, and don't let Chet get going. Like, it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a real struggle.
Yeah, I think they'll put the first two guys and put them on Shea, and then put the other one on Jalen, and go from there. And you just got to live with it. And what I think is gonna happen is a couple of those guys gonna start to get in a little bit of foul trouble. And then they're gonna have to go to the bench, and now they're not gonna be able to help you out on the offensive end at all, because they're not gonna be able to get into the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. It is just tough. Like, they put so much pressure on you because, like, all these guys can get a bucket.
Yep. And that's the problem. Like, the Pacers are gonna need to play perfect basketball in order to make this work. I mean, I do like the matchup of if they are able to get Obi Toppin in to get him on Chet Holmgren. I do like that matchup. From an
then who you gonna put Miles on?
Hartenstein, if he's in. If they're running Chet at the 5, then I don't think I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Exactly. Because now with Chet shooting threes, bro, like, the big guy got to go out there, and now you got no rim protection.
Yep, that's the problem. That's the problem.
When you got a stretch 5 like that can shoot consistently, bro, it puts a different level type of stress on you defensively.
Yeah, that's true. And again, going back to, I got to go back to when they lost, when OKC lost, to find holes in their game. What I feel like the Mavericks did was they made Chet be the one that beat him. Like, they knew, okay, SGA gonna get, 28 to 32. Okay, that's cool. But we just can't let nobody else do anything else. And that's exactly what they did. They were like, okay, Chet, you want to be a superstar? Okay, you're going to have to hit these corner threes. And if not, then we're going to win this game. It's really going to be. But I feel like now, he's more prepared to do those sorts of things.
You see, Mike Yang talking about he need the Stanley Cup analysis.
Bruh, look, when my Stars left, I lost interest. And my
He's just
Stars
saying that
ran.
he's just saying that because he's Canadian and Edmonton's in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, no. Once the Stars got ran out, I completely lost interest.
Yeah,
completely. But yeah, man, I think the Pacers. I think they get one. And I have to agree. It's probably OKC in 5, the start of a new dynasty.
Yeah.
Man,
that's crazy, man. Just think they got so many draft picks going forward still. Like Sam Presti has done a phenomenal job with all the moves he's made and all the draft picks he's acquired, man. Like he has done a phenomenal job at OKC.
Yeah, he has. I mean, and they still got ammunition to even get better. And that's what's so scary.
They are so young.
Yeah, I think they're still the youngest team in the league. And that's just, it reminds me of how I felt when the Warriors won their first one. I was like, boy, I think we're in trouble. I don't know if anybody's gonna beat this. But yeah, OKC's got that same type of thing going. I mean, and not to say like Houston has a chance to do something during this time period. San Antonio, depending on what they do from a free agency standpoint, but OKC is just gonna be really tough to beat because they are already established. But I think people have to kind of bank on them getting greedy as far as like the individual players and wanting to go out and get a bag, which means that they're going to have to leave and go to other teams. I think that's what the league is just going to have to bank on happening.
Yeah, I think either San Antonio or Houston are going to have to try and get Giannis.
Yeah,
because if San Antonio gets Giannis and Wemby comes back and he's healthy, bro, San Antonio is going to be a real problem.
Telling you, like I was saying a couple episodes ago, like people are not going to want to come through. You don't want to come through Texas, like to go, or not even just Texas, just the I-35. You don't want to be on I-35 at all. You got San Antonio, you'll have Houston, you have Dallas, and you have OKC.
Facts.
That's 4 losses.
For real.
But keeping it with the NBA though, so shortly before we got on the show, we heard that the Knicks fired Coach Tom Thibodeau after being the best coach that they've had in 25 years. So what were your thoughts when you saw that come, from Shams?
Honestly, when I saw it, the first thing I thought of is like, this has to be a front office thing where like Tibbs and the GM and the owner, they can't get on the same page. Because when you take the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals, like there's no reason for you to lose your job, like period. And having been in sports, man, like I've seen that side of it. And sometimes like the GM, the president, the owner, like it's some big egos in the room. And sometimes like those guys just cannot get on the same page. And unfortunately, man, like, guys be like, hey, like, well, it's my way or the highway. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's the owner's team. He going to do what he wants to do. And if he doesn't think you the guy, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just unfortunate because to me, I'm like, well, okay, you fire Tibbs and hire who? Who out there? Who's out there that's gonna make it different? This ain't like Ime Udoka's out there or Tyronn Lue is out there. Like whoever they hire, I feel like is gonna be a downgrade.
What they could do is go get Buddy that the Nuggets just fired.
They could try that. I mean, it's worth a shot, I suppose. I guess it can't get too much worse, but like, I don't understand why you would not just kind of have a conversation. Hey, look, we saw what happened. We're just going to have to go deeper into our bench and we need to get more people that you're aligned with and that you trust. Why not have that conversation than let's just cause disarray after we've had the most successful season that we've had in a quarter century?
I would imagine that conversation definitely happened. I would imagine that conversation happened several times, especially during the last playoff series. It had to. And probably, going back to what I said earlier, man, like Tibbs is when you think about it, when a coach gets to that level and you're a head coach in the NBA, you've been doing it for a long time. You're at the top of your game, top of your craft. You're not going to listen to what some GM tells you. You're not going to listen to what the owner's telling you as far as like schematically, like how you should sub, what you should do. Like you'll listen to it, you'll humor it, but at the end of the day, like you're not going to put too much stock in that. And then what ends up happening, the front office guys, they see it a little differently, and then there's a little back and forth, and like people get into it, man, and it happens quick too.
Yeah, it went down real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And like Lane said, Knicks are a relatively newly formed team, need more time together. I mean, yes, especially with the addition of Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
And you could kind of see that, like from a defensive rotation standpoint. He was out of position, just being real zesty, just just doing the wrong thing on defense. Man, that dude's super zesty, dog. There's no denying it, man.
And they destroy him on the internet too. It's so funny, dog. They just be destroying Karl Anthony.
Like, you heard the voiceovers when they do the voiceovers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so accurate, though.
It is. It is for sure. For sure.
I mean, but it's like I've heard people talk about, that they need to trade him, and I'm like, okay, I hear you, but trade him for who? I mean, that dude's about to make $60 million next year. Who you trading for?
It's a great question. That's a great question.
You essentially need a 3-and-D center to go along with him. You need Chet is who you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's unrealistic. I feel like you got to get the best out of what you got, especially considering the fact that they're up against it with the second apron. Like, you don't have a lot of flexibility. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I do know that they need a new coach. And I think that, going after the coach, the former coach of the Nuggets is probably Mike Malone.
Bro, I just thought of another one, man. Bring Mark Jackson home, dog. Bring Mark Jackson home.
He should have been had first of all, the Golden State Warriors owe him a ring.
Yep.
Secondly, he should have already had a coaching job, multiple coaching jobs probably by now.
Yeah, they did Mark Jackson dirty, man. So dirty.
Mm-hmm. It's like he's been blackballed from the league.
Absolutely. There's no reason why he shouldn't have had a job by now. No reason at all.
None at all. I don't get it, man. But I don't know. The Knicks I think they'll be worse next year, just from a continuity standpoint. And that sucks for them because I think basketball is better when the Knicks are good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That the energy in the NBA is different when the Knicks are like deep in the playoffs.
Yeah. You know what? This is an interesting comment that Kobe Covington's burner put up. He said, in my opinion, Brunson can't win as your number one option. Most point guards struggle to win rings as ones, it seems. I know SGA is about to potentially, but he's a bit different. He's taller and colder. What do you think about that?
I mean, I definitely hear that because when you think about it, guarding point guards is probably outside of like just from a size wise, because you always can throw more size at them. Mm-hmm. And when you're at the point, like you may be the quickest guy, but when you got guys that are taller and longer on you, it is just tough because even you can get a little bit of separation, but the guys are so much longer than you, they can still contest your shot. You know what I mean? And then you come into the basket and the playoffs, man, like big guys are like, you ain't just getting easy layups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely see that. And you just can tell, man, it takes a toll when you're the number one option all year and all throughout the playoffs. Like, you have to be ready to handle the load because every possession is magnified.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say that he can't win it as your number one option. I think he can. But you, just like with any team, you have to have the right team around you. The right team that fits what you do well. You know, because if you look at, I don't know, you pick Anthony Edwards. As good of a player as he is on both ends, like he still has deficiencies that have to be covered up by other teammates. And we just happen to know Jalen Brunson's deficiency is more physical from a height standpoint than it is, with Anthony Edwards. So I don't think that Jalen can't win. And I don't think that he's the reason. I think that the reason that they lost was more so strategy than just about him. I think if things were a little bit different from a strategic standpoint, they could go deeper into their bench. We're having a different conversation right now, but I wouldn't say that he can't win it. Being the number one option, I don't think I would agree with that.
You said Brunson's a great closer, but I don't know. Just I don't see him winning as a number one option. They need another piece, and the team is already pretty stacked. Valid.
Yeah, he is a great closer. Obviously, he's the clutch player of the year. But I think that he can win it as a number one option. I think if Mikal Bridges was a little bit more potent, a little bit more forceful, I think that that's a great number two. I mean, SGA is probably going to win it this year. And if you look at what SGA did last year, very comparable to what he did this year. The difference is the supporting cast. Jalen Williams got better. Chet was more healthy. He got better. They added Hardenstein. A lot of the role players, J-Dub off the bench.
Caruso.
Yeah, all those things. That's what lifted up the team. Brunson needs something like that. Say Cat is the two. Cat is the number two option. He is, and he's a great scoring option. But the problem with Cat is he don't slide them puppies, as Kendrick Perkins says. He don't slide them puppies on defense, and he gets blown by too often. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I think he's a little bit too much of a volume scorer for me. Like, yeah, he'll go off some nights, but he gotta put a lot of shots up.
Yeah. And so now that we know where we're at right now, do you think the Knicks would have been better not making that trade?
That's tough because they legitimately had a chance to make a run at a title. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a legit chance to make a run for the title, you always make the trade because you never know when you're going to get this opportunity again to make a run. Because it's not guaranteed. Like, the Knicks may not get back to this opportunity for another 25 years.
True. I think if I had to do over again, if I were the Knicks, I don't know if I'll make that trade. I don't think I'll make that trade. The reason I say that is because of who they gave up and the flexibility that they gave up. It's not about Julius Randle per se, but it's about Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. That's more depth. And yeah, Julius Randle is a little wishy-washy, but you were further under the cap. You could add more people to the team, more depth, more people that Tibbs trusts. And without that, you're soaking all that up into a one-dimensional volume scoring big who doesn't play defense all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's one of those things, with hindsight, but at the time, man, you like, we're one piece away. You know what I mean? We get that one piece, and now we're a legit title contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I want to go through this one real quick, and then we'll jump into some UFC stuff. Said SGA plays like Kobe and is better all around. So that's blasphemy. We seen how cold Iverson and Kyrie were. The Celtics team Kyrie had could have won a championship with Boston as a one. Perhaps, yes. I do agree that they could have made a lot more noise during that time, but Kyrie was in a different mind space than he is now, as a team builder and a glue piece and a leader. So it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda situation. SGA is not better than Kobe all around, but he's going that direction. He's trending to be on that level for sure. I definitely think. I was just thinking about that before we jumped on. I think that SGA is going to be an all-time great for sure.
Yeah, but he gonna have to step it up on the defensive end. He want to get up there with the Mamba though.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Kobe would defend as well.
Mm-hmm. And SGA is a good defender. He's definitely a good defender. Has great size, but he doesn't have the strength that Kobe has, and that same type of mentality. I mean, of course, we're splitting hairs. We're looking at, great versus, ultra great. So it's no diminishing on SGA, but Kobe's just a different monster, man.
Bro, when like the peak of the peak, when Kobe would get going, bro, do you remember like the time he had like all those games in a row where he had like 40 points?
Yeah, man. That's when he was trying to play for his freedom. Yeah, I remember that.
Man, boy. Like he wasn't the black mama, bro. He was scorching. He was like on fire, bro.
Yeah, it was insane. Like that whole. I mean, I remember it specifically. I that was when I was like in the height of my Kobe fandom. Like he just went off in every game. I think it was hard to probably be one of his teammates. He like, I'm not getting the ball.
Yeah, but bro, when you got a guy going crazy like that, trust me, all the teammates like feed him the ball, get him the ball. We are winning, and we know this guy can get a bucket.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, when you got the other guard starting with you is Smush Parker, you got to shoot. You got to shoot it. Okay, are we on the same page? Kobe Covington's burner. Okay, I'm gonna call you CCB. I don't like talking about Kobe Covington.
That's totally understandable right there.
All right. Okay, so let's get into some UFC stuff. Let's see what I got tuned up.
UFC Vegas 107 was a commercial disaster with abysmally low viewership, and the main event never even happened. Given how the UFC has handled situations with fighters pulling out last minute, like Arman Tsarukyan, where does this leave Maycee Barber? What's the future for her in the
So yeah, that's a question I've been thinking about for a while. Like as soon as that situation happened, it was like, what's the future for Maycee Barber? Because you know how the UFC is, you know how Dana is, but like when you were watching that, like y'all did a live chat for that one, didn't you? Yeah. Like what were y'all? I didn't catch it. I was at the movies. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, what were y'all doing?
So when we're on, like, and we're watching it, like I had it on the TV, but we got the sound all the way down, so we can't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
And then they cut the DC and at the desk, and we're like, what is going on? So I mute it and turn up, and then that's when I tell guys like, hey, the fight's off. Everybody's like, what? Like, what's going on? This and that. And like I think everybody was shook and was like, what? Like, how is this not happening? But man, when you see situations like this, especially with health issues like this, and she's had a history of having some health issues, this could potentially like affect her career big time going forward. Like she might not ever be able to do it, or even have to move up a weight class because she just can't make the weight like physically and safely. And at the end of the day, we want everybody to be okay. Like we want everybody to be in good health when they get in there. Like at the end of the day, it's still people out here trying to make a living to feed their family at the end of the day. And I want her to be okay. I want her to be in good spirits. I want her health to be okay. But at the end of the day, man, she got to take care of herself,
100%, man. When I was watching it, I thought that it was just going to be a delay. and I thought that they were just filling in some time. I thought that maybe something was going on with her hand wraps, or weird stuff happens. We've seen all kind of weird things when people walk out. The last minute stuff like, oh, you can't have ankle wraps, so you got to take them off. Those, we've seen all those things, but like when they said that she wasn't coming out, I knew it wasn't a fear thing. She's made that walk, quite a number of times. I never thought it was a fear thing, but I thought it was things aren't exactly the way that I want them to be heading into this. I'm just going to call it right now, which felt very Arman Sarukian to me. And we see we're still in the midst of how the UFC is treating Arman Sarukian right now. So I immediately thought, oh man, she's never getting a main event again. Like, like she's going to have to win. She's already on a 6-fight win streak. She's going to have to win at least 4 or 5 more to get a title shot.
For real.
I mean, they don't like that. I mean, and it's understandable to a certain extent when it comes to the UFC, because when you are penciled in for a main event, like everything, when John says, this is the person that the card is built around, like that's the truth. Like your face is on all the posters. They're gonna talk about you first, and if you don't show up, the majority of the people came here to see you, either win or lose. So if they can't depend on you to do that, why would they put you at that part of the card? Like they're just not going to. So I definitely think that her next fight, whomever it's against, and she's gonna fight down as if she lost. Whoever it's against, it's 100% not gonna be a main event. That is for sure.
Oh yeah. On the flip side, though, I know Dana and the brass, they probably didn't like the fact that the main event didn't happen. But with it being in the Apex, I don't think they're really worried about too much. I'm gonna be honest, because I feel like the Apex for them just prints them money because the expenses are so low. They're still getting their money from ESPN. We're at the end of that deal, but yeah, it probably is one of those things. We don't like it. It's not a good look for the organization, for the company, but. And then on top of it, I think I saw somewhere it was only they only had 11,000 views or something like that of the fight night this past weekend.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, that's why the Apex isn't going to go away, because it makes them so much money.
Yeah, it's funny too. Did you hear on the broadcast? Oh well, you didn't hear it probably because y'all were muted, but when they were sitting there talking, Laura Sanko, Brendan Fitzgerald, and Daniel Cormier, they're sitting there talking, and Laura Sanko actually had a comment about the Apex and slyly said something about not wanting to be there.
She did.
She said something about it. Yeah.
Ooh.
I have to go back to see exactly what she said, but she actually was like, we should not be here, because she was saying something about, just imagine if there was a crowd like there should be, type of thing. And she was like, it would have been way worse. I'm like, okay, Laura, you better keep them checks running in. You better chill out.
Hey, Dana gonna call on that mic, be like, hey, get in line now, get in line.
Yep. I need you to toe the company line, man, because you're tripping. Yeah, that was wild. But I mean, the whole situation is nuts. But who do you think? Because Aaron in the post fight press conference said that she doesn't want to fight Maycee. But what do you think should happen after this?
So let me pull these Tapology rankings up, because I actually had a decent little idea of who I thought she should fight next. Okay, 1 second. So for Aaron Blanchfield, I think you could either do her with Alexa Grasso or her with Natalia Silva.
I think I
Or
agree.
you know what? The matchup I had was Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. That was the matchup.
Yeah, it's out of those. To me, it's out of Jasmine, Jazz the Vicious, and Alexa Grasso. And I would rather it be Jasmine, Jazz the Vicious.
Same.
I think she
Because
deserves
to me,
it.
that makes a lot of sense. Because honestly, I feel like Natalia Silva's #1 contender already.
Yeah.
Like clear cut. She should get the next title fight. But there is kind of like that little elephant in the room where we could get Valentina Wei Lee, which I actually would. That's actually the fight I would like to see personally. But I mean, if they make that, then now Silva, you can do Silva Blanchfield. If you don't do Jasmine Jazz the Vicious with Aaron Blanchfield, because Jasmine Jazz the Vicious just fought at UFC 315 and she got a finish in the first round, if I believe. So you could probably throw that on 318 or 319.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if I'm. I guess I always play things the same way, but like if I'm Natalia Silva, I don't know if I'm fighting yet. I think I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah.
unless they come to me and they say, "Hey, look, we need you to fight Aaron. It's gonna be a #1 contender fight." Okay, sign me up. But if they're like, "We need you to fight Aaron," and there's nothing after that, I'm like, "Well, I'm chilling," because my next fight need to be for the belt. Why would I fight back right now? I just won.
Absolutely.
I am the #1 contender, literally on your rankings. You have a 1 next to my name. I should be fighting for the belt next.
Yeah.
The only rightful person that can jump her is Zhang Wei Li. That's it.
Yep.
So yeah, but I like Aaron against Jasmine for sure. I want Alexa to get a winnable fight. So so to speak.
Let me see what we can do for Grasso. You could do Grasso. Man, everybody's booked. That's the issue. Because behind her, Rose has a fight. Vivian Araujo has a fight. Jasmine Jazz the Vicious is free. Tracy Cortez has a fight. Karine Silva has a fight. Miranda Mavic has a fight. Like literally everybody is booked up pretty much.
Yeah, she's going to have to fight either the winner or the loser of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's probably going to have to chill for a little bit and see how things shake out because she's on a 2-fight skid herself.
Mm-hmm. And she got beat up pretty good by Natalia Silva too.
Yeah. That's a tough one. But so for Maycee, what do you think? Let's say she gets her. Do you think that she should just go up?
Yes. Like if you're having seizures, you definitely should go up in weight 100%. Like, yeah, you're going to be a little undersized going up in weight class. But if you think about it like this, the weight class higher is super shallow. Like you can be a #1 contender in no time at bantamweight.
Yeah.
No time. Because I think like after Kayla Harrison, who's after Kayla Harrison? Caitlin Vieira, who's on a 1-fight win streak. I'm trying to think who else at bantamweight. Let me go look at bantamweight.
You got Aldana.
I think Aldana just lost, didn't she?
I can't even remember.
Yeah, Aldana just lost.
Dang.
Norma Dumont's kind of like the dark horse. Her and Eileen Perez. Ooh, bro, the one I really like at bantamweight is Jacqueline Cavalcanti. That's who I really like in that division. Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah. Ugh. Dude, why does Eileen Perez keep moving up these rankings? What is she, #7 or something? What is she at?
Hold on, let's see. Because I just was on Tapology. Let's go to the UFC official rankings real quick. All right, here we go. Eileen Perez, bantamweight. She's #6. Maycee Chasson's 5, so she probably gonna drop some. So yeah. Eileen Perez is 7. Irene Aldana is 6.
Okay.
But Norma Dumont is 4, bro. So They probably gonna have to do like Norma Dumont versus Raquel Pennington, and then if Dumont beats Pennington, she probably gonna be up next.
Oh man, that's gonna be interesting, and I don't mean interesting in a good way, but that's gonna be interesting if Norma Dumont versus Kayla Harrison for the belt after Kayla gets this win. Like, speaking of that, actually, let me play this real quick.
E316 is stacked with 2 huge title fights. Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley and Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. But besides those headliners, which fight on the card are you most excited for, and why?
So that's the next question right there. I wasn't looking into the card earlier in the week for whatever reason. I think I was just really kind of stuck on the weirdness that happened, with Maycee Barber. I almost forgot that a card was coming up. And like I was saying before we jumped on, that it feels like it's been little to no media. Like, you got your embeddeds that are out there or whatever, but they haven't really been pushing it. Or at least it feels that way. I don't know. It might just be me, but it doesn't feel like they've really been pushing it like that
at all, bro. Like, maybe they just don't want to put all this promotion in, and then Merab gets another win, because I think the UFC isn't fully on the Merab train. I think they definitely want O'Malley to win, and if O'Malley does win, then we're going to see all types of push at bantamweight with O'Malley and all of that. Like, I think that's literally what they're waiting on.
Yeah. But what fights, and we can kind of go back and forth, but like, what fight is a fight that you like low-key think is going to be a really good fight?
Okay, so the low-key banger for me is a little flyweight action. Bruno Silva, Joshua Van. I think that fight is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Because Joshua Van, bro, he comes to bang.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. I think that Bruno Silva is a massive underdog in this fight too.
Let me see. Yeah, he's a plus 400.
Yeah, that's kind of disrespectful a little bit. I know Bruno Silva trains with Henry Cejudo, so he's got some really good minds at his disposal, and I don't know. I just don't think the odds should be that crazy. How do you think that fight goes, though?
So I'm going with Joshua Van there, man. Like, my only thing with Joshua Van is I think even at flyweight, bro, he's undersized. Like, he is a small guy, but he is a dog. Like, he gonna walk forward, he gonna get in boxing range, get in your face, and he gonna let his hands go. Yeah. And like, he's one of the few guys I feel like at flyweight that literally was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it in your face, and I'm gonna get in boxing range, and we're gonna exchange. Like, I think most guys at flyweight, like, they want to get in, get out. But with Joshua Van, man, like, it is just all action all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely a flyweight sprawl and brawl type of person. And he got some hands, man. I think Sterling said that he trained with him, and he said he hits like a truck, which is crazy for somebody that small. But I'm leaning towards Van as well. But I think that if it does hit the floor, for whatever reason, Bruno Silva can definitely catch him in something.
Oh, for sure. But the only issue with that is Van's takedown defense, I think, is at like 80 or 90%.
Yeah,
let me before 81%, bro. So and that was the big thing in his last fight against Ray Cerrulla. Like, Ray Cerrulla could not get Joshua Van down at all. Like that sprawl and that takedown defense, and then he gonna get right back in your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you? What fight you looking forward to?
So one of the fights that I'm super interested in is Ariana De Silva versus Wang Kong or Kong Wang. I don't know which way you say it, but I mean, first of all, I was very, very high on the Joker when she came into the organization. I just like, you just see those fighters and you're like, oh, I like how you do. I like how you're doing what you're doing. Like Carlos Prates when he came in, it's like he's got a certain swag about how he's knocking people out, and she has that same type of flair. In her last fight, she knew that she just needed to get a win, and she buckled down. And she took all that out, and she was like, "I'm gonna get this win." But because she, previously had that loss where she got choked out, but for this fight, I know that both of them want to strike.
Yep.
And then you got, De Silva, who looks like Gal Gadot. She like Wonder Woman to me.
Bruh, I will watch an Ariana De Silva fight anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the Queen of Violence, she definitely comes to put a hurting on people. She's got some submissions in the bag now.
Do you remember that knee bar she got like a few fights ago? That was nasty.
Like, I'm literally picturing that in my mind. Like that was so crazy. Like, and that's that Queen of Violence thing. She's super vicious. The way that she, does everything really. And I think that's what's going to make this fight so good. I don't think this is going to be a decision. I think this is going to there's going to be a finish.
Really?
Yeah, I actually it's almost all the time you can pencil in a women's fight. Okay, we're going to bet that it's going to decision. I don't think so in this case. I think that both of them are really going to try to get each other out of there.
Yeah, I think it's perfect matchmaking. We got two strikers that Wang, she don't want to grapple at all, and De Silva don't want to grapple either. Like, yes, I feel like she's an opportunistic submission threat. Like if it's there, she'll go for it, but she doesn't want to be down there trying to like mix it up. Like she want to stay on the feet.
100%. Yep, for sure. I think it's the same way. I definitely think that there's going to be a finish though. What else? What's another fight that you like on this card?
Honestly, I think the first fight on the card got a chance with Quinlan Salkill and Ajmouche. I think it could potentially. I think we could get a finish in that too, because Ajmouche, man, he is a powerful little guy. And to me, man, Salkill, like he's very young, but I feel like the guy is very, very skilled to be so young. And Australia been on a roll here lately, so I think it's gonna be a good one.
And Salkill is coming off of a knockout himself, isn't he?
Let me before I say the wrong thing, let me verify. Yes, sir. First round, he finished the guy from India, the Jubilee guy.
Oh yeah. Every time I see that dude's name, it reminds me of Yoel Romero. Anything can happen if Jubilee. But yeah, no, I think that's probably going to be a good way to start the card. Quinlan is actually a pretty big favorite on that one too, which is interesting.
Let me look and see what those odds are real quick. Man, he's a minus 485.
Yeah.
Man, that's disrespectful. But I mean, he's got a 7-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
Bro, he is 25 years old.
Young kid. Yeah. I think that's a good one. Another fight that I'm actually surprisingly kind of interested in, and it's because of the clash of styles. Because normally I don't really like either one of these fighters, but it's just them meeting at this moment is pretty interesting to me. Sergey Spivak against Waldo Cortez Acosta. I thought that Acosta was going to lose his last fight.
Same. I thought so too.
I definitely thought that was going to happen, but I mean, he surprised me, and he's
Mhm.
definitely gotten better.
Mhm.
In a shallow heavyweight division, honestly, he's probably only 2 fights away from from once things get figured out at the top, from challenging for a belt. Like it's that shallow.
Yeah.
And then Sergey Spivak, his grappling is when he's on, like he's really, really good.
Mhm.
So it's that clash of styles.
Yep.
Acosta wants it standing, Spivak wants it on the ground. Who wins? This is
I feel
another
like
one that I think could be a finish.
Yeah, I feel like this fight is definitely a finish. If it's on the feet, Waldo Cortez Acosta is gonna finish Spivak, and if Spivak gets his hands on Acosta and gets him to the ground, it's gonna be a wrap in under 30 seconds as soon as they hit the ground. Like,
Yeah.
because it's like Spivak hits another gear when they get to the ground. It's like, where did all this agility come from?
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely turns into the polar bear when he gets on, guys. For real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got another low-key banger. Got
Oh,
another
okay.
low-key banger.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos Williams against Andreas Gustafsson. I think that's gonna be a banger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we get a finish in it too.
I think I agree, man. Chaos, he either finishes somebody or he gets finished.
Yep.
I feel like when he came into the UFC, it was around the same time of Joaquin Buckley coming in, and they had a very similar skill set, as far as like being powerful, being athletic. But it was just a matter of who's going to grasp the game and understand tactics first, and that'll be the one to take off. And obviously, it was Buckley.
Yep.
But Chaos has a lot to him from an athletic standpoint, and that power, man, that power is real. He could put anybody out, but he steps into all kinds of landmines when he's trying to do what he's trying to do, and it gets him in trouble.
Yep.
And Gustafsson, he got the right last name. I mean, he could definitely put a hurting on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with Chaos, man, I feel like with him in his training, they gotta try and like get him like rein him in a little bit and get him a little more technical because he just throws like these winging shots.
Yeah.
And he just misses so much, and then he just starts to get a little tired, slows down a little bit, and that's when he gets in trouble. And then as far as Gustafsson, man, he just wants to get in your face, get in the clinch, like get you up against the side of the octagon, make it dirty, and just grind on you and just beat you up. So I think this fight is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. So another fight that I'm super interested in, and it's really more so because I really just want this one guy to go ahead and retire. It's Kelvin Gastelum against Joe Pyfer. Now my boy Frankie, he really despises Joe Pyfer. I don't know why, but I do know when he came out after the whole Mexico thing and the way that he was talking, I didn't like that. Of that, but I like Joe Pyfer. I like the way that he fights, and I definitely think that this is it's a step up from the fact that Kelvin is very experienced. Obviously, fought for an interim title, but I still don't think the middleweight is where Kelvin really was supposed to be. He's just a fat middleweight. I mean, he's a fat welterweight. That's really all he is. And I think this is the wrong weight class. And Joe, being a person who's supposed to be in this weight class, should show him that there's weight classes for a reason. But
yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, man. I feel like Gastelum could get the 170, and it wouldn't even take that long if he just got on a diet and like had a little bit of discipline for a little bit of time. He should definitely be a welterweight because he is so undersized at middleweight.
Yeah. Is he 5'9"? Like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Joe Pyfer 6'3". Like, that's just you are walking in with a disadvantage because you didn't want to be disciplined. Like, I don't understand that. Why would you do that to yourself? But I mean, he goes in there and pays for it because that's what's about to happen.
Yeah. And what's crazy, bro, with Gastelum fighting up at middleweight, bro, middleweights and light heavyweights are basically the same size.
Mm-hmm.
Like middleweights just are a little bit leaner than light heavyweights, but they are the same height. They got the same body type. It's just light heavyweights carry a little bit more water, a little bit more body fat.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is just not where he's supposed to be.
Mm-mm.
But I mean, we'll see. Kelvin finds a way to make these situations interesting. I mean, like I thought that he was going to get destroyed against Chris Curtis, and he ended up stealing the victory when I thought he lost that fight.
I did too.
So I mean, you never know. You never know. But I am looking forward to that because I do want Joe Pyfer to knock him out.
Does he make weight? That's the next question.
Man, he better make weight. He better make weight. I think he makes weight. I think he does.
I think Piper is to take the fight regardless, even if he doesn't make weight, honestly.
Joe's going to take the fight because he needs to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that extra 20%, he can't get mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, are there any others that jump out at you?
Nah, that pretty much covers it for me.
Yeah. So one question about each one of the, or both of the what's up, Andrew? One question about both of these main events. Obviously, Juliana Pena and Sean O'Malley are both underdogs in these fights. If you had to pick one of them to bet everything on, which one would it be?
O'Malley. I just think Juliana, like, I know Juliana Pena is tough. I know she's a dog. I know she will not go away, but I think she is just going to get manhandled, just completely manhandled, just tossed around the octagon like she is nothing. Because Kayla Harrison, bro, like she is built differently, bro. And when they get tied up, because you know they're gonna get tied up at some point, they're gonna get in the clinch or they're gonna get up against the side of the octagon. And when Kayla Harrison grabs her, like, we're going to see a different level of strength. And Juliana Pena is just going to go for a ride. And then when Kayla Harrison gets on top of her, Juliana Pena is not going to be able to do anything with her because it's going to be a different level of just body mass on her and a different level of strength. But yeah, I would go with O'Malley just because I know he's got a puncher's chance. He's probably got the most power in his hands in the division. And Merab can get caught. We've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would do the same. I was trying to think of, before, kind of thinking out my picks or whatever, for the pick league or whatever. And I was like, okay, so is there a way that Juliana can win this fight? And there's one way. There's
Make
one
it your
way.
dog of the week while you're at it. Make it a dog of your week. Dog of the week.
I'm not crazy. Things ain't been going great this year, but it ain't going that bad. I think the only way that Juliana can win this fight is she survives the first few rounds and hopes that the weight cut was terrible and that the fatigue will kick in. She has to win. So Juliana has to win rounds 3, 4, and 5. That's what she would have to do. And hope that the weight cut destroy Kayla so that in round 3, she starts to fade. And then all of a sudden, Juliana starts getting those takedowns. That's the only way I can see it happening.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening.
I go back and think about the Larissa Pacheco fight for Kayla Harrison. And I think the reason why Pacheco gave Harrison so much trouble just because she's just as big as Kayla Harrison. And Kayla Harrison had trouble moving her. You know what I mean? And with Pena, man, I just think she's just gonna get tossed around. And if Kayla Harrison ends up on top of her, she's not gonna be using any energy for real.
That's true.
So at that point, her cardio ain't gonna go nowhere rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for her. Like, a really, really steep uphill battle for her.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew said eye pokes and stuff is the only way she's winning. She's gonna have to use those 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, I really think it's almost like playing basketball where you get 6 fouls. Like, she's going to use up all her fouls to try to get this going. Because I just, like you said, she's built like Triple H, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is Triple H's little sister. They are built the same. They look the same. I don't see how Juliana does anything with that at all.
I think the only possible way Juliana Pena pulls it off is she just gotta put a pace on Kayla. Gotta stay on the front foot, marching forward, but she can't overextend and then just run herself into the clinch. Because she run into the clinch, that judo, and she just going on a throw. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just think she just gotta stay in her face with that jab. Because believe it or not, Pena's got a reach advantage. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. She does. I think
3 inches, 3-inch reach advantage. So she need to march forward, use that jab just like she did in the Amanda Nunes the first fight, and just keep that jab in Kayla Harrison's face. And I feel like that's what she has to do. To do.
Yeah, she's gonna have to. Gosh. Yep. Yeah, she's about to lose that belt. That sucks. For her. Good for us though. Because I don't think she won last time. I don't think she beat Rocky.
I got a question for you. If Kayla Harrison wins, does Nunes come back?
I think she does, man. I don't want her to, but I think she does. I don't think that she was there during the Juliana Pena and Raquel Pennington fight for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's got that itch, and I think she wants to come back. For what, I don't know. I mean, obviously you get paid, yeah, sure. And it's a big fight. It's a big fight against Kayla. Not so big against Juliana. If for whatever reason the stars align and Juliana Pena wins, I don't. If that happens, then I don't think she comes back.
Same. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't think she comes back for Pena.
Yeah, but I think she comes back. I do. I think she comes back, and she'll jump right. I mean, rightfully so. She'll jump right to the head of the line. Who's going to stop her?
Yes, she will. Yes, she will. As she should, to be fair. Yeah. Like, why should she not?
Yeah, there's no reason that she shouldn't. There's not one fighter in the division that I would say, oh well, she's got a case. No, there's nobody. So yeah, I think that if Kayla wins, or probably when Kayla wins, who knows? Amanda might even beat her.
That would be smart, because the fight would get made right then. Dana would love it.
He would. All right, so let's look at these last 4 for the Crosswalk Welterweight Tournament. Yeah.
All right, and I'll get the poll ready.
All right, y'all. So whoever was here last time, I'm sure you remember we had the Welterweight Tournament going on. And this is just based on what the rankings were at that point in time. If we threw all the top welterweights into a tournament, how we think it would play out. In the last episode, we had everybody voting, and they voted the semifinals to read out like this. We got the number 1 seed, Jack Della Maddalena against Joaquin Buckley. We got Michael Morales against Islam Makhachev. We have Shavkat Rakhmonov rematching Jeff Neal. And another rematch, we got Bilal Muhammad against Leon Edwards. So we are going to vote on these. And, of course, we'll talk through them. A couple of these rematches are interesting. They may play out the same way, but I got some thoughts on how it could go different. But the first one I want to jump into is Jack Della Maddalena against Joaquin Buckley. So Jack, obviously in real life, he's the champ. He's never fought Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin is fighting Kamaru Usman in real life in Atlanta. But how do you think that this fight plays out?
I think this is a phenomenal fight, first off. And I think we could potentially end up getting this down the line. Man, JDM is definitely, rounded off his game very well. And I think Buckley also has been doing the same. Like you talked about that earlier on the show with when you were comparing him to Chaos Williams. And really, I think both guys like have passed the victory, because JDM's boxing, I think, definitely gives Buckley some trouble. But on the flip side, I think Buckley's diversity and the way he can mix stuff up so well, and he has that super long reach and is used to fighting up at middleweight against bigger guys. I think that combination of different things makes this a really tough fight, really good fight. If I had to make a choice today, right now, I would probably go with Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, it's hard to dispute that. It really is. He's got the nuclear option. He's so explosive. Not to say that Jack can't knock him out, because he can.
Absolutely.
I think that Jack learned a lot in training for Bilal, especially working with Craig Jones, about how to negate people's grappling game. He thought that Bilal was going to be grappling first and striking second, and he made Bilal very, very one-dimensional. That being said, I think that Joaquin, his explosiveness and his ability to withstand what Jack is going to throw at him, because like you said, he was at middleweight and getting cracked by them big dudes. And like you said earlier, middleweight is a lot closer to light heavyweight. And getting hit by those dudes is super different. I mean, we've seen that with not only Joaquin Buckley, but Kevin Holland. It's very different up there. So with Joaquin having that in his back pocket, man, I think I have to agree. I think Buckley gets him. I think he does. And I think that if Buckley wins this fight against Kamaru Usman in real life, he might be walking right into that title picture, after that.
Absolutely. Like, bro, Buckley is just he's for me, he's an enigma. Like, he's very hard to figure out, because the striking isn't super technical, but he's explosive, got power, and has a really good reach. Solid cardio, been 5 rounds already, can grapple for 5 rounds. Like, he literally can do it all. And as we're starting to see in MMA, the guys that are more complete and more well-rounded, they're the guys that separate. And I think if there was one more thing that could probably like sway it for JDM for me, is if JDM had like that one punch nuclear option. And in my opinion, I could be totally wrong. I don't think JDM has that one punch, just death touch. Like, I feel like he can hit somebody and hurt them, and then he can swarm them and get them out of there. But I don't think he just has that one punch and like it's just night Irene. You know what I mean? Especially a guy coming down from middleweight. True.
I agree with that. I feel like Jack Della's striking power is kind of very similar to one of my favorites, Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier don't have the one shot knock you out power, but he does have. He's gonna hurt you, and you're gonna wish you were somewhere else. And then once he hurts you, then it's all downhill. And Jack Della does the same thing. But against Joaquin, you're gonna have to hurt. You're gonna have to put him out. He's used to getting hit like that. So, yeah, I have to go towards Joaquin, man.
Let me see what the chat talking about.
You know what's funny, man? It feels like welterweight gets like we get all the black champs at welterweight. all the black champs come to welterweight. That's what it is.
Oh man. So the poll is 100% JDM.
Interesting.
How many votes we got? So 2 votes, but 100% JDM.
I'm not mad at it because I do think that it will be a close fight. It'll be very tactical. Joaquin can't go in there being crazy because JDM will box his head off. And Buckley has some really good kicks, really powerful kicks. Yeah, but I'm not mad at them saying JDM. You know, there's the recent champ bias. I get that too.
But then again, if we probably were to ask this question in 2 weeks, though, depending on what happens in the Buckley Usman fight, we might get a totally different response.
Bro, if he go in there and destroy Kamaru and make him tear both his ACLs or something, like, dude, everybody's gonna be saying Buckley's that guy.
So JDM advances.
JDM to the next round. All right. Okay, so let's see who's next. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the and look at Michael Morales versus Islam Makhachev. That one is going to be a very interesting fight. Because I think that Michael Morales, I think he has the longest reach in the division. And obviously he's the youngest in the division as far as ranked fighters as well, going against an all-time great at lightweight in Islam Makhachev. How does Michael Morales keep Islam Makhachev off of him?
With the longest reach in the division. That's exactly how he does it. Because as we've seen, man, Islam's wrestling, it's not his strong suit out in the open. Like, it's better when he's got you up against the side of the octagon, you're behind the black lines, and you're in the clinch. That, to me, that's where Islam's grappling really, really shines. When you're out in the open, as in the Dustin Poirier fight, Dustin could defend a lot of those takedowns out in the open. And now you got a bigger guy, a younger guy with a longer reach and more power. I'm just saying, Michael Morales could make this fight very interesting.
Yeah, man. And I agree. Like, the Dagestani wrestling model when it comes to MMA is use the fence as another floor, and it worked so well for Khabib. But Khabib and Islam and Umar are 3 different kinds of wrestlers. They have a lot of the same principles, but they're very different in the sense that Khabib is a lot more relentless. He doesn't care if you see the shot coming. All he knows is you're not going to be able to stop the chain wrestling. You're just not going to be able to stop it. You might stop the first thing, but then when he transitions to something else, you're not going to stop that. And so Islam, to me, is different. He has a little bit of that chain wrestling in his bag, of course, but I feel like if it doesn't work, he's like, I'll strike with you.
He'll give up on it and be like, all right, I'm not going to use this extra energy to try and get this and go above and beyond and drain myself. So that definitely makes sense. I definitely see that in Islam's game for sure.
Yep, exactly. And I think that would actually be to his detriment against Michael Morales, because now you're putting it into his world where he has the advantage, because he can hit you when you can't hit him. And him throwing I think that Islam's best weapons are his kicks. And if you're not able to get those kicks to him the way that you want, I mean, if he was getting touched up by Dustin Poirier, who obviously a smaller man than Michael Morales, a much shorter reach, I find it difficult to see where you're not going to get touched up by Michael Morales. And you remember, we talked about this last time, I didn't think that Marco Morales had that fear factor that he
And I
gave people,
told you.
and I have changed my tune. I think that he definitely has that fear
Mhm.
factor, even though he beat up an old Gilbert Burns. We didn't know that it was an old Gilbert Burns until he beat
Mhm.
him up. So, I think this fight is a lot closer than just their names say it is. If I'm picking in this one, I think I might go for the young dude. I might go
Ooh.
Michael Morales.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. I totally get it. Totally get it. Because I mean, when you break it all the way down, man, like Islam is gonna be at a disadvantage physically. But I will say this though,
Mhm.
we haven't seen Morales on his back. We haven't seen him, have to get back to his feet when he's got one of the daddies on him. You know what I mean? So until then, it's like a big question mark and it's a big unknown. And then on top of it, man, Islam got that big fight experience, all that championship level experience. So I would go with the experience and take Islam, but I feel like the odds would be very, very close in this fight.
Yep. Surprisingly close.
So the poll has it 2-0, 100% for Islam. So Islam advances.
Islam Makhachev. Damn you.
I feel like that's a way better fight than what people realize.
Heck yeah, it is. All right. So now we're going to hit these rematches. Let's see. The first one will go Shavkat Rakhmonov against Jeff Neal. What do you think about that one? Do we get the same situation, which was a great fight, by the way? Do we get the same type of turnout when it comes to a Rakhmonov versus Neal fight, or is it going to be different this time?
So I think the way their styles are, they can't help but have like good fights. Like it's going to be a good strap, just the way their styles are. Jeff Neal primarily with the boxing, southpaw, whereas Shavkat does it all, MMA guy. But I think the fact that the first fight was such a war, and now Shavkat's like elevated a little bit in the division. Now he's still the boogeyman. I don't think he'll just try and like just stand there and strike with Jeff Neal. I think he learned by getting that finish that I can take the path of least resistance and try and like use some of my grappling and make this easier on myself. So I think a rematch, Shavkat makes it look easier.
Yeah, man. I think that this is where the inactivity might be a problem for Jeff Neal.
Mm-hmm.
If Jeff Neal was more active, then I think I would think about this a little bit differently. And I want Jeff to win. But him being inactive, obviously Shavkat, he's hurt, but I want to say he's fought since Jeff has, and he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being the case, man, I think that Shavkat, he probably does make it look a little bit easier. I think he definitely relies more on his grappling, gets him to the ground and submits him. And that sucks, Jeff. I want you to win. I really do. But I just don't think this is just the right matchup at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look at the poll real quick. We got 100% for Shavkat.
Yeah. That's not surprising.
Yeah, at all. So Shavkat advances.
All right, last one. Also a rematch. We got Bilal, the former champion. We've already forgot the name. Muhammad against Leon Rocky Edwards. How is this fight going to be any different than what we saw in London in the middle of the night? Well, I'll let you go first. I have some thoughts on this one.
So I think if this fight happens again, I think it's going to go the same way. Like I think the Leon that we saw in the second Usman and third Usman fight, I don't think we're ever going to see that guy again. Like, I think mentally, Leon doesn't handle the adversity the greatest. And now that he went in there, got finished, got dominated against Sean Brady, I don't think he's ever going to be able to get back to that level when he was like going in there against Usman. And the way he fought in the third fight against Usman, to me, that's the best he's looked in there, period. And I think that was his peak, and we're never going to get that again. And I think the game plan that Bilal used, that's exactly what Bilal is going to want to get back to after what he just happened with JDM. Like, he's going to want to get back to the wrestling, the grappling, the pressure, the pace. And, that's Leon's Achilles heel.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see the same type of thing. I think the only way that Leon could win that fight is by doing something that's outside of his character. He would have to get to play into Bilal's ego. Bilal has a pretty big ego, and I think that's why he fought the way that he fought against JDM. And if Leon can play into his ego and get him to want to strike with him, by Leon saying that, there's no way that you can strike with me. That's just not even in your bag. That's the only way that I can see this going a different way for Leon. Not to say that Leon can't grapple, but comparing to me at this point in their careers, or even going back to when he fought Kamaru the second time, that Kamaru and this Bilal, their grappling, it's flipped. Kamaru has a better pedigree of grappling. He's supposed to be a better grappler, but I think that because of his injuries and because of his philosophy change, Kamaru's not that grappler anymore. And Bilal has turned into that grappler because of who he trains with and the philosophy that he's taken on. And so, that being said, I think that Bilal is just a better grappler right now. And I think that he imposes that will on Leon the same way that he did before. So Leon has to use all his tools before the fight in order to get Bilal to not fight that way. And if Bilal comes and fights the way that he just fought JDM, Leon can beat him.
True. But let me ask you this though. Do you truly believe that Leon Edwards, before the fight starts, can talk enough trash to get Bilal Muhammad to do something different?
No.
Exactly.
No.
That's exactly why I asked you that.
That's why I was saying he'd have to do something that's totally out of his character.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not what he does.
Yeah.
And after he loses this fight, we got to make the Masvidal fight.
You can make the Masvidal fight now, honestly.
We really need to make that fight.
Yeah, for real.
Did you see Jorge over there? He was over there with Yoel and John in Thailand.
Really? I did not see that. I did see a little bit of Yoel, but I didn't see Jorge.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he over there with them. Yeah, which is interesting. All right, so
let's see what we got over in the poll. We got 100% for Bilal Muhammad, so Bilal advances.
That's not surprising.
Yeah. So we got the semis next week.
Yep. So we got Jack Della Maddalena against Shavkat Rakhmonov and Bilal Muhammad against Islam Makhachev.
Wow, bro, it's crazy how it works out, huh?
I mean, this is kind of the way that it is in real life, in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, all you would do is kind of flip these a little bit because Shavkat and Bilal were already booked, and Islam and Jack Della Maddalena are going to be booked.
Yeah.
So you just have to flip the matchups. But that JDM versus Shavkat fight, I don't know how.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that was good. Did you think it was going to end up here with these four?
So the JDM Buckley one, I knew was going to be. I figured that was going to be very, very close because to me, I feel like that's a very close fight. Bilal, Leon. I figured the ones that were rematches, it was pretty much just gonna be chalk, like what we've already seen. And then the Islam Morales matchup. I think when you initially see the names, you're like, oh, that's Islam. But then once you start like really looking at it and you start thinking about all the different things, you realize like, bro, this is a way tougher fight than what people want to realize.
And you know what this is telling me is that for all the stuff that people say about the UFC rankings, they're kind of right.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of right.
Yep.
So it is what it is, man. But yeah, that was a good show. Anything I know you got your picks and stuff up. But anything you want to let them know about before we jump off of here?
So I got another stream coming on later tonight for Tough. I will be doing a live stream for that, a little watch along. You know, if you watching it at home, come chop it up with me. Come, you know, I'm just gonna be chilling, talk a little trash, have a little fun, man. It's all in good fun. Then tomorrow with the Fight Week show, we'll be doing a Dust Up Shakedown tomorrow. Then we'll have a prediction show on Friday for UFC 316 this weekend, and I know we'll be doing a watch along on Saturday. So come on over there, check me out. Got a lot of content. I live stream like 2-3 times a week. Try to put out a video or two a week, and yeah, like I interact with everybody. I respond to all the comments. Follow on all platforms, and come on back to Crosswalk, man, because this is one of the live streams that I enjoy the most.
Yeah. So I think I'll be on Dust Up Shakedown. I think I'll be on the prediction show, and I think I might be on the live stream too.
Okay.
I think I might do all of those if you know, children permit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm still working on this video with McDane. I also have a couple of other videos that I'm working on as well. So y'all be on the lookout. Also partner with Millions, so should be doing some interviews later in the month with them, as well as some live streams with them as well. So y'all keep on the lookout for your boys, man. We got a lot of stuff cooking. But yeah, until next time, we will holler at y'all next Tuesday, same place, y'all.
Peace.
I think we're saying peace.
We're still here.
What the heck?
We got that infinite live stream glitch.
I know. I don't know what's going on. It won't end. It'll never end.
Try to